So the show starts. Everybody gets to sing one song, and the first thing I notice is that people have a lot of different ways of how they get on terms with the microphone. Some people approach it very slowly, cautiously, with their heads craned forward but their bodies holding back like they're afraid it'll explode. Other people go right after it with gusto, like it's a big juicy carrot they're about to chomp. Other people again move toward it sort of teasingly, kissingly, like, excuse me, but I don't know how else to say it, like they're gonna give it a blowjob. What, you think I've never seen a porn flick? Most people leave the microphone in its stand, but a few people yank it out and hold it like it's meant for them and them alone, and no one's gonna take it from them, and no one else is gonna get a turn if they can help it. Anyway, I don't know if this or that approach to a microphone has anything to say about how different people deal with life in general. I'm just saying it's something I noticed. Another thing I noticed is that some people had obviously rehearsed for this. They knew the words and just when to start singing and just when to stop. Other people looked like they were up there because they lost a bet. Their big vocal entrance came along and they just stood there. Then in the next second, they seemed to realize that they choked. Then they sang really fast to try and catch up with the music, but got all tongue-tied on the words. Then they shot their buddy a look as if to say, I can't believe you're making me do this, you schmuck. As for the singing itself, hey, I'm no critic, but I think it's safe to say that not everyone who thinks they have a good voice does. All in all, the fast songs came out better than the slow ones. It was the long, drawn-out, heartfelt notes that kinda hurt my ears. Too much emotion, too little precision, and too much time to notice. Then again, dogs hear pitches differently from humans, so maybe I'm just being too picky and missing out on the easy-peasy spirit of the thing. Or maybe I am a critic after all. Anyway, we sit through 8 or 10 acts doing Fab Four covers, mostly solos, but with a duo and even a quartet thrown in here and there. Master is on his second cocktail, and I'm on my 3rd or 4th maraschino cherry with whiskey sticking to it, when suddenly there's a harsh, bright flash from the stage. Actually, there's 2 harsh, bright flashes. And what should we see up there but 2 guys in shiny, blinding sharkskin suits just like mine and Master's. Same jackets without lapels, same shirts without collars, same metallic gleam off miracle fiber polyester. Like all 4 suits came off the same final markdown sale rack. Like the 4 of us could start a band. So now my attention is riveted, as the saying goes, and I look harder at the 2 guys up on stage. One guy is very tall and has a funny way of leaning, swaying, even when he's standing still. The other guy is short and has no neck. His head erupts directly from his shoulders, and he has a mat of stiff black hair. And I suddenly realize, holy shit! These are the 2 guys from the beach. The guys who pushed Callie down from her headstand. The guys who started this whole cockamamie story. So of course, I'm somewhat agitated, and I start sort of spinning around in Master's lap. My sharkskin jacket skids across his sharkskin pants, except when the weave lines up a certain way, then it catches like Velcro. Master, with his ancient eyes, apparently hasn't yet figured out who these new performers are, so he grabs me and tries to calm me down as if my sudden antsiness was random, which, by the way, it never is. There's a little messing with the karaoke machine and the microphone, and then the intro to the song that these guys are about to do comes on. It's an upbeat number. The intro is brief and frisky, just like ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then, right on the money, well-rehearsed, no hesitation, these guys start singing about some girl who has a certain something that makes them really want to hold her hand. The lyric, let's face it, isn't Cole Porter or any of those other clever guys with fancy rhymes whose stuff Master has on LPs, but it gets the point across. She shouldn't let him hold her hand. If that works out, then maybe she'll let him be her man. I mean, what could be more sweet and basic? But okay, so much for the lyrics, which who really cares that much about anyway? The main thing is that the song is rockin', and, to my amazement, these 2 knuckleheads are singing it really well, in tune, on the beat, and with so much, well, I guess you'd have to call it infectious enthusiasm, that within 15-20 seconds, all these people who had been maybe half listening are now really dialed in, tapping their feet and slapping out the rhythm on the bar. But here's when it really amps up. Most of the time, these 2 guys are singing the same note, in unison I guess you'd call it. But there's this one place where, in a manner that I think you'd have to call orgasmic, the words come back to, I wanna hold your hand. But at this time, they break it off into harmony, and the no-neck guy goes really high, but the leaning guy goes even higher, and they nail the notes, and hold them. And the whole time they're holding them, they're shaking their heads really fast, and the crowd goes nuts. I mean, everyone is swept up, including me by now, and you can just tell that everyone agrees that that was the best part of the song. And we're all waiting on the edge of our seats for it to circle back and come again, and I guess everyone is confident that it'll happen, because things generally do circle back in songs, which is part of why everybody loves them, I guess. Anyway, the hand part starts coming around again. You can feel the whole joint sort of building up to it together, and then, when it happens, the really high harmony, the head shaking, I don't know what comes over me. I can't help myself. It isn't planned. It's like a mania, and I suddenly hear myself singing along. Somewhere along the line, don't ask me exactly when or how. I must have jumped up onto the bar, and now I'm standing there in my sharkskin jacket with my head thrown back, my eyeballs pulsing, veins throbbing in my neck, singing along in tune, or so it seems to me at least, as loud as I can, and people are staring at me and laughing and applauding until the song is over. At which point they gradually seem to remember that they should also be clapping for the two guys up on stage.